So I had something for you. So I came, so I had an idea, right?
Hit me. Yep.
So I was attending a fifth grade poetry reading,
Hmm.
and
As you do on your Wednesday evenings.
yes, that could be a loaded comment.
Hmm.
And I
As
unex-
you do on your Wednesday evenings.
yes, that could be a loaded comment, but but but, but I'm gonna clean it up. I was attending my daughter's fifth grade poetry reading. Not just any fifth grade poetry reading.
Got my bottle of Chardonnay, and I'm gonna find a fifth grade poetry reading tonight.
Oh man. So I ended up finding some inspiration in that fifth grade poetry reading.
Uh-huh.
I know what you're thinking. Poetry reading, you're probably thinking like Russell Simmons. And by the way, Russell Simmons probably had one of the best jobs ever. Think about this, right?
Mm.
He's just creating all these businesses. And then so it was like, well, I don't know if you ever saw Russell Simmons poetry jam. He had a poetry
Yeah,
jam too,
yeah,
right?
yeah, cool.
Yeah. I'm just throwing it out there because you didn't. You
It's
know, most
okay.
Def would be there with his handkerchief around his neck and little fedora stuff like that.
Yeah.
But Russ would get up after it's over, and they'd be like, "Yo, thanks for coming. Get out." And collect checks and just kick everybody out. That's an awesome job, bro. He didn't have to be in front of the. He was on that what Suge Knight hated. Like you didn't have your producer all in the video dancing and stuff like that. Russ just got up there and then said, "All right, we're good. You guys
Wow.
had a good show. Get out." So, but anyway, I kind of digressed there, but that's just who I am as a person.
Yeah.
My ADD, yeah. Right? So the poetry reading is going on, and it's just one girl that's going up to the stage, and you can visibly see when someone's just shook or they're scared or they're unnerved.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking at her like she's not gonna make it because it's like 200, it's 200 parents, kids, everybody's out in the crowd. She looks out in the crowd. She looks back at the teacher. She looks at the crowd. Looks back. I was like, no. It's like kind of when you're in that plane and you're about to skydive, and they're trying to push you out. They're like, oh, we're just gonna push. And the person's like, oh no, we're not. Like I'm not
You look
jumping
at the guy in the back and he's sweating.
now.
Like he's not jumping today.
So I changed my mind. Like, oh no, nope, you paid. You know. So she just turns around and starts crying and bawling, right?
Well, that's
And
because you were booing her, Dave.
I was not booing that little girl, man.
Boo, get off the
Try
stage,
to give
little
me a bad
girl.
name out in these streets.
Boo.
I don't boo. Get off the stage. No,
You suck.
no, I don't do that. But
So she starts crying.
so she starts crying, bro, and everyone starts clapping, like, yeah, you can do it, you can do it. And this
Nice.
goes on for like 20 to 30 seconds, right? And she still can't like really read it and can't get through it, but she eventually starts to read. And I think the
Mm-hmm.
momentum of it, like she's like goes through it. But I noticed myself, it's something I kind of figured out. I noticed myself having an empathetic response
Mm-hmm.
to what she was feeling and to the embarrassment. Like I was in touch with what she was feeling.
Yep.
And something I was reading was like to be emotionally intelligent, you need to figure out why you are in touch with things that are around you. That's the
Okay.
So if you're watching a movie, why
Mm-hmm.
if you ever watch a movie and you're mad because the character's mad,
Mm-hmm.
like your body is physically reacting to it. It's because you find some type of relevance in that character's behavior
Mm-hmm.
and it identifies with you. But if you go deeper, you figure out why it identifies with you.
Interesting.
So when that little girl was crying and reading the poetry, and she was embarrassed and she was scared and whatever else feeling I kind of identified with, I had to kind of think of like, yo, why do I identify with this?
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of had to acknowledge that she was scared about, and this is my thoughts of how looking in. She was scared about one, reading it and being in front of people and
Mhm.
feeling their reaction to it.
Mhm.
And then it made me look at it like, yo, damn, oh shit. So I'm sensitive to how people feel about things. And that's sometimes why I don't want to do, like, say, like, release a podcast or release a reel or do something that would force a reaction from people that's out of my control. I can't control that, so that's scary to me. So
Mhm.
it it kind of made me look at, yo, man, like, it was almost like a breakthrough, because it was like, yo, that was crazy. I would have never done it if I didn't read that. Sometimes you got to kind of like look at why you're relating to something. You're relating
Mhm.
to something for a reason. You might see somebody reacting, and they're frowning, and you start to frown because it's a mirror effect.
Yep.
But
Yep.
if you ask yourself why you're having that mirror effect, have you ever experienced that shit? Like,
Absolutely. And this is funny, Dave, because this keeps on happening to us, where something one of us talks about, the other one was just thinking about or just talking about.
yeah,
Well, I got two examples, but literally just last night, me and the wife were looking for a movie, and I came across 410 to Yuma. My wife's like, "Yeah, you like that movie, but I didn't think it was all that special." And I was like, "No, I love that movie." And she actually asked me why, and, and I didn't really know why, so I kind of started talking through it. And as I'm talking through it, I realized that I was getting impassioned about something that the characters were going through, and I kept on saying the same phrase over and over again. And I realized that was something that I tapped into that made me enjoy the movie because it was happening on screen, where my wife thought it was a fine movie, but that emotional hook didn't hook her. And
mm,
it's kind of exactly what you're saying. Why does one person get this reaction and feel so passionate or so angry or so touched emotionally by something, and the other person doesn't? And I think that's some unresolved issue, unresolved question, unresolved thought process that that person has, that's illustrated in somebody else's pain or happiness or whatever. And when they see that illustrated in somebody else, maybe they haven't processed it in their head to know that they have that issue. But when they see it illustrated, they can identify with it and say, "Yeah, that's right. I feel that way." And what you're saying is, when you get that and say, "Yeah, that's right. I feel that way," it's healthy to dig into yourself and find out why do you feel that way, and what's missing, or what trauma happened, or what.
that's the word. That's what I was trying to get out of you. Like, it's so crazy because the mind is so advanced that to his point, to trauma. So I was experiencing that trauma, so the mind buried that trauma. But so the only way you can really be in tune with it is if you think about it. If you really dig down into, like, why do I feel that way? And if you
Mhm.
dig down into why you feel that way, you can unmask what it is that's making you feel that way, or relating to that character, or relating to that person. Or, like, you'll see some people or some women, and be like, oh my god, that baby's crying, or that little kid's crying, and they might not even know. They feel like that mother shouldn't have scolded him, and he didn't deserve to get smacked on the hand, because I didn't deserve to get smacked in the hand when I was a kid.
Yep.
So, and if you thought about it, you'd be like, holy shit, like, that's why I relate to that little kid.
Mhm.